Hey everybody, Kyle Weisenberger here. Just want to do a quick recap after my Santee Cooper Bass EQ Open, which was event 3 for the circuit this year. So just want to do a little bit of update on this event, kind of how the season's going, and just kind of show you how I caught them this week. It was one of the most fun weeks I've ever had on the water. It was pretty cool. So I had like 4.5 or 5 days of practice pretty much planned. So I was able, the first day of practice, I started in the lake that's on the opposite side of where we take off, long ways away, but I found a little area that first day of practice that maybe was the size of a football field that I had like 7 or 8 bites in, and a couple of them were 2-pounders, and I swam a couple off, so I knew I had maybe a little something figured out, but I tried to duplicate that, tried to figure it out other places that day, couldn't do it. So second day of practice, kind of struggled, and then I actually had to cut practice short to go back with my dad down in Florida. He was not doing well, kind of in the hospital. So I drove back down to Florida for a few days, and he kind of started making some progress, so I headed back right before basically the event. We had a meeting on Wednesday, and I had a couple hours I could get out on the water, so I thought I'll go check that little place. If I find them there, I'll kind of commit my area to it. If I don't get bit there, then I'll just scrap it and just fish, whatever feels right the day of the tournament. So I go in there the last day of practice for those few hours and had like 15 or 20 bites in that same area. So I knew I had an area that isn't real big, but it had some potential. So first day of the tournament, had an unbelievable day, ended up with just under 26 pounds. I remember calling out at the very end, which I'll show a clip of it. I called out a 4-pound 2-ouncer with probably a 6 something. It was just a fish I would never normally ever call out. So it was a special day. Second day, I went back to that same little area, that football size area, and I knew I had kind of hit it hard the first day, but was able to manage 18 pounds, 10 ounces, had 2 nice ones, and I just missed, making that final day by 6 places. So I needed maybe like another 5.5, 6-pound bite on day 2 to have enough to make top 10. So anyhow, I'll show you some of the clips and show you some of the baits, but it was just a special week. It was a fun week. We were 67th in points, and now we moved up to 40th with 6 events left. So we're not where we want to be, but we're making progress in the right direction. So first and foremost this week, the number 1 bait that I caught nearly every big fish on was a Dweller. Ronnie Hiles makes this bait back in Ohio. Double willow, shad color pattern, 1/2 ounce, and I threw that on a 7-foot heavy action Phoenix rod. I threw 40-pound braid to a fluorocarbon leader, and just every big one I caught, man, they all stayed pegged, and I got all of them in this week. On day 1, I caught, I think, 4 of the 5 that I weighed in on this, and then on day 2, I caught my 2 biggest ones, I believe, on the spinnerbait. So that was a key bait. I actually was getting some bites on a chatterbait in practice. That last day of practice, I picked up that spinnerbait, and they started eating it. The second bait that I put to use mainly on day 2 was the Yamamoto Cinco, baby bass color, 5-inch, and man, the second day those fish really got used to my spinnerbait. I finessed them out with that, and I caught a lot of key fish on that wacky worm. Just throwing this on a 7-foot 2 jackhammer medium heavy spinning rod, and a fluorocarbon to a 10-pound braid gamma fluorocarbon leader, and not fishing it weedless or anything, just throwing it over top of some eelgrass. That's what I was kind of fishing. I found a trough. Most of the area around me was like a foot deep or less, and I found this little depression that maybe had like 1.5 to 2 foot of water at places, and all those fish just seemed to congregate in there, and it was mixed in actually with a little bit of eelgrass, and that even made it better. The last bait I had was the biggest fish I caught all week was on this little Venom 1/4 ounce white track right buzz bait, and I hadn't gotten a bite all week in practice. I had a good bag going on day one. I picked this up, working my way out of my area, and a big one clobbered it. And it was, I didn't weigh it, but it was probably a 6+, and that really got me, you know, a couple pound upgrade. But just throwing that on a 7-foot medium action Falcon, you know, rod, straight braid, and man, I caught a lot of big fish on that buzz bait. So appreciate you guys following along. I'll show you some of the clips of a few of the you know, the fish catches and whatnot, and hopefully we can go to Logan Martin here in about a month for stop 4 and continue to climb up that EQ points race, see what we can do. So thanks for watching and hope you guys enjoy it.
Oh my gosh, it's a big one. Come on, baby. It's a really big one. I need a big one. It's a bass. It's big. Not going to stop it. 100%. It ain't jumped. It's got me a little bit worried. But it's a bass. I think I just seen him. It's going to jump. Nope. Yes, got it. Oh my gosh, dude. Thank you, Lord. Look at that, guys. Got him. Man, that's a big one. Please stay on, Lord. Wow. One time.
You got it. You got it.
One time. Please stay on.
You got it.
It's a big one. Oh my gosh, I got him. I got him. Thank you, Lord. Oh my gosh, dude, it's been one of them days. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh my gosh.
Oh, brother, way to go.
Thank you, Lord. Look at that call right there. That'll help. That's a fat one. 2.7. 2.7.